you that the views expressed in today's show do not reflect the views of KZLX, KNWT, or Northwest Missouri State University. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show.
And welcome back in to the Weekend Sports Kickoff on X106 and KNWT Channel 8. Trevor Mader, Jacob Blair, Andrew Bobinick, Kramer Sansone with you for the next 17 minutes here on the Weekend Sports Kickoff. I'm a little bit late starting show today. Had some things come up. We didn't start on time. But we're going to dive in now, wrap things up.
Still didn't get my candy.
Yeah. Hate to see it. We're going to start now with some MLB talk it's been 2 weeks since the season started, just about.
Yes.
Each team's about 12, 13 games in. Kramer's kind of a residential baseball expert. This is the time of year where I don't watch a lot of baseball. I'll watch more in July, August, September. But right now, it's tough for me to watch it.
It's going to be tough for you to watch it for the season.
If I'm as a Royals fan, it's going to be tough. Let's just touch on this very briefly, and then I don't want to ever talk about it. The Royals bullpen is garbage.
I don't know if it's just the bullpen or if it's just the team in general, because they're on a 10-game losing streak.
It's both, but it's mainly the bullpen, if that makes any sense.
The Royals do not have a farm system, and that's the reason why this is like this. They do not get any players. Say they do trade away, like Mike Moustakas last year. The people that they got from that are not even on the team anymore.
Brett Phillips is in Omaha. Brett Phillips should be.
Well, I mean, Omaha did beat Kansas City in the last spring training.
Brett Phillips should be up. Now, the other kid they got, his name's escaping me. Yeah.
Where'd they get Ryan O'Hearn from?
They draft.
Was that the White Sox?
Didn't they draft Ryan O'Hearn?
I'm pretty sure they traded for him from the White Sox.
I don't remember. The whole narrative that the Royals traded away all their prospects to win a World Series is silly because they really didn't. They've drafted terribly. They've managed contracts terribly. You know, I love Alex Gordon. I will forever love Alex Gordon. That was a bad contract. They should have let him go.
The 2-year, $20 million.
4 years, $70 million, wasn't it?
Just recently?
Yeah, right after the World Series.
Oh, he already signed a 2-year, $20 million.
No, it's news to me. You know, I love Alex Gordon. Bad contract. Alcides Escobar should have cut bait with him. They should have traded Alcides Escobar right after they won the World Series.
He's in Baltimore now.
Yeah, he had value after they won the World Series. He doesn't have any value now. Salvador Perez, I'm thinking maybe it's not too long till you start considering cutting bait with Salvador Perez.
And you're not going to get anything off of them.
And that's the part that sucks, is they just screwed themselves over.
There's only one person right now on the Royals.
Is it Whitley? Is it Whitley Daniel Merrifield or Whitley James Merrifield?
It's Whit Merrifield. And he's just got his 31st game hitting streak. It's still extended. He just beat George Brett's 30-game hitting streak.
And then it ended yesterday.
Yeah, and do what you got to do. It's okay. But he's probably the only person that is not available, but a person that they could trade for.
I think Adalberto Mondesi would have some value. Not what Merrifield has, but he'd have some value. But outside of that, Alex Gordon, you might get
a bucket of balls from.
The way he's playing right now, you might get more than you should, but that's still not much. If Brad Keller pitches the way he has.
Now, if you go on to recent trends for Major League Baseball and how it's always the manager's fault. It's always it's just always front office or something. It can't be the team. Is this the year we see Ned Yost leave Kansas City?
I thought it'd be last year, but I think it might be. I honestly do. The bullpen's been terrible. Now, even if the bullpen is good, they're probably right now 6-6, 7-5. So it's not like, with the bullpen we'd be a playoff team. No, if they had a solid bullpen, they might finish third in the AL Central because the Central's, I think, weak enough they could. This is a team that's steamrolling towards 100 losses.
The Kansas City Royals, you guys act like this wasn't expected.
No, it's totally expected.
No, I'm acting like it's expected.
As a Royals fan, as Kansas City, if you didn't expect this team to be terrible.
No, I think we expected a different kind of terrible, though. I think we just expected them to suck every game. I didn't think we expected them to. The offense actually hasn't been bad. It hasn't been good. Their run differential for a team that's 2-10 of all the teams that have ever started I was listening to this earlier. Of all the teams that's ever started 2-10, it's like one of the best run differentials. They're losing a lot of games by 1 or 2 runs. It's not like they're losing games. Last year they were losing some games like 13-1, 10-4.
Listen to this: when they started their 10-game losing streak, they lost to the White Sox 6-3, then 5-4 to the Twins, 7-6 to the Twins, 5-4 to the Tigers, 7-4 mean, there's a 13-5.
That was against the Mariners.
Yeah, but there's a 6-5 Mariners and 7-6. So
Yeah.
it's just a one-score game to tie it up.
So they've had some bad luck. This is also just a bad team. This is a team that their upside is 70 wins. That's their upside.
I'm sticking to it. What I've said beforehand, they're going to win 53 games this season. That's it.
I think I'm going to say 57. I'm being very optimistic.
This is going to be another 100-year loss.
I think
for them.
they're steamrolling towards that, right? If the bullpen keeps pitching the way it has, they're steamrolling towards it. Do you have anything you want to say before I transition?
Is this the last time we're going to talk about the Royals?
I'll probably talk about them next week.
Probably. Well, I won't be here. So
if you're a Kansas City fan, football season started a month and a half ago.
It started as soon as Rex Burkhead crossed the goal line at the AFC Championship game.
You got
I
Sporting.
know I'm from Kansas City, and if I had to pick a baseball team because I'm from Kansas City, I'd pick the Royals. But this is just not a team that walking around school here, it's like, why are so many people talking about the Royals? Like there's some
baseball,
hope this is going to be good.
Season. Okay, but Browns fans do that too. So you're saying Browns fans shouldn't talk about the Browns because
they have a reason to now,
right? But they didn't for 15 years.
And they still talked about
That's
it.
the point of That's the point of fandom.
It's not talk. It's fine to talk about them, but there's this every season that the Royals are bad. There's this idea at the start of the season that they're going to be like an 85 win.
I don't think anyone said that. I thought there was the very, very slim chance with the division they played in, they could win enough games that they somehow finish third. That's not happening. But, I mean, by that logic, you're saying Browns fans shouldn't have been excited for 15, 20 years?
No. If I was a Browns fan, I would have been watching the games, but I've been like, well.
That's kind of where, as a Royals fan, where I'm at. Like, I don't have any expectations. I just want them to win a game.
I'm the same way with the Raiders. I have no expectations.
I just want them to win. I just want them to win.
Well, I was the same way with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
it's like 5 years ago when they were winning 2 games.
I think what happens, the Royals winning the World Series spoiled the fan base. It did.
Maybe that's what I'm trying to get at. Is just there's this idea that the Royals should be better than they shouldn't.
You look at this roster. This is
that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a completely different
and
roster. Danny Duffy is the only player on the team, and Salvador Perez.
I will also argue anybody. I think that, and this is coming from a Royals fan, but I am one of their biggest critics. You guys know that. That Royals roster that won the World Series is maybe one of the worst combinations of rosters to ever win a World Series. It was just
everything worked at the right time.
It was a weird thing of a lot of guys playing above their head at the right time. Alcides Escobar hasn't had like a hit since then.
Well,
he was the ALCS
there's
MVP.
only one way to counteract and counter-argue that one is because they made it to the World Series before that and lost to the Giants, and that was the same exact team, minus James Shields
Billy Butler.
and Billy Butler, but they added more pieces to it.
They had Cueto and Zobrist.
That's still 2 very good pieces to get those guys.
So you had a lot of guys
postseason.
that played really good baseball for a year and a half and then have done nothing. I mean, Eric Hosmer isn't.
He hasn't blossomed at all, but still, it was at that time and at that moment.
Those guys were playing their best at that time.
But that 2014 team, you can't say this is one of the bad teams because 2 years in a row they made it to the World Series. How hard is that? That's very hard.
They also started out 48-50 in 2014, and Ned Yost was on the verge of getting fired, and they got hot. So really, a season and a half.
They were going to get fired if he was going to get fired if the Oakland Athletics would have won.
Right. So a season and a half. That was a team of a lot of guys playing over their head, and they won a World Series. They played small ball, and it worked. I'm not going to criticize them for that. It worked, but. Did we think there was going to be a dynasty? Because I didn't. The next year, I was just hoping they could make the playoffs.
And they didn't do that. It was like 89 wins, and they still...
they got to 80. They were 500.
Close.
So, transition a little bit. We got about 8 minutes before we end the show. How many home runs are the Mariners going to hit? They're on pace to hit like a bajillion.
They're on pace to hit one every single game.
They've got 34 through like 13.
I didn't expect Jay Bruce to have 7 home runs right now.
And like 9 hits. That's the impressive part is like pretty much every time he gets a hit, it's a home run. He's hitting a lot of home runs. Dan Vogelbach.
He's hitting a crap ton
5
of
or
home
6,
runs.
I think.
Yeah, he's like his 3rd multi-home run game already this season.
So everyone on the Mariners is pretty much hitting home runs at a good rate, except the one guy I need for the sake of my fantasy team.
What, Edwin Encarnacion?
No, he's hitting.
He's hitting the ball well.
Omar Narvaez is at, I think, 2.
Who's on your fantasy team?
Omar Narvaez.
Okay. But if you look at this Mariners team, nobody expected this to happen by adding Carlos Santana, then trading him away, even adding an Edwin Encarnacion to get rid of some potential like good pitchers over there. I can't remember what that trade was it for. Getting rid of James Paxton to the Yankees, their ace on their rotation.
Who is their ace right now? Is it Mike Leake?
And their ace is actually Marco Gonzalez.
Yeah, I said their pitching rotation is average, and their defense isn't good. I saw that this weekend.
They're just quick. You got D. Gordon, Malek Smith.
Yeah.
You get these two guys, they're going to get 40 stolen bases this season. And also another team, Tampa Bay Rays.
Austin Meadows is playing solid. They've Tommy Pham. They've got some good pieces.
And that's the thing. Nobody expected the Tampa Bay Rays to do this. The fans didn't expect the team to do this. They actually took out 5,000 seats actually at Tropicana Field to make it more of a close environment, I guess. But they're still averaging about 10,000 fans a home game, and this is a 32,000 venue.
And they've got a Cy Young winning pitcher. Right?
They might
Blake
get
Snell.
two with this year with Snell and oh my gosh, this name's changing my mind. Getting out of there.
Name's changing your mind?
Changing my mind. This name's changing inside my mind right now. If I can pull it up.
When that happens.
Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah, he's playing good too. At least as bad as the Royals bullpen has been, which has been atrocious, the Cubs bullpen might be worse.
Yeah.
So I take solace in that.
Yeah, we can talk a little more about the National League Central of how, like right now, there's a good series coming up. Cardinals are going to take on the Reds. That's actually going to be held in Mexico City, which that's kind of cool. They're starting to venture out. I think there's going to be also a game in London this coming season between the Red Sox and Yankees.
Yes.
And that's going to be happening on later. But Cardinals right now, the hottest team in the National League, and they just keep winning games. They swept the Dodgers, which the Dodgers are the favorite to win the West. They're on a 4-game skid. Pittsburgh Pirates not looking too hot, even though they're 6-5, still not a very good team-wise. Brewers and Cardinals right now are probably the front runners to lead this entire National League Central.
I think the Cubs will get things turned around enough to maybe be a little bit of a contender.
They're old.
I had the Cubs missing the playoffs this year.
They're old.
When I did my preseason predictions, I think I had the Cardinals winning the Central and the Brewers as a wild card, or maybe they were around, and then I had the Phillies as the other wild card. I think the Cubs will be around a 500 team, maybe.
I honestly think the 2 wild card teams coming out is going to be in the East.
Think so.
It's going to be the Braves and Phillies.
Who's going to win the East then?
Mets.
Yeah.
Mets had the pitching, they had the hitting. They just need
Peter Alonso is looking like the real deal. He's looking good.
It's good that they held him back one more year to get him more blossomed as a hitter. And he's showing it for the Mets right now.
Yeah, he's I think 6 home runs so far.
7.
There's 7. Did he hit one last night?
Hit 2 last night.
Okay, I knew he hit 1. I couldn't remember, but yeah, the baseball season's kind of in full swing.
So I'm that type of person that I'll watch baseball constantly.
I don't watch a lot this time of year because I've got other stuff going on, but I follow it. I follow a Twitter account called MLB Home Run, so it tells me every time someone hits a home run. I like that for the sake of my fantasy team, because I need those home runs. That's the one spot that always.
I'll fall asleep putting on a West Coast game and just listening to it, fall asleep and watching it. It's just great.
So pretty much all we got for today. So I guess it's time to transition into what are we watching this weekend, Kramer? What are you watching what are you doing tomorrow?
What I'm doing tomorrow, I am partaking in some drinking, so that's will be me. But I'll be watching the NHL playoffs tonight. Tonight for the Blues are taking on the Winnipeg Jets, and the Blues are already up 1-0 on the series. They're going to play also on Sunday. So this whole entire weekend, I'm devoting myself straight to watching the NHL playoffs.
Just solely you're not doing anything else? You're just going to watch the NHL playoffs?
Have some fun.
You're going to sit at home, watch the NHL playoffs
with
by
Andrew.
yourself? Andrew, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm going to be getting box scores for the Royals and hopefully
That's
see
the best way to watch them this year.
and hopefully
Yeah,
see that
I haven't watched a single Royals game.
and hopefully see that they'll call up my man Frank Schwindel.
Schwindel.
Pretty nice player. Schwindel, tomato. I'll be watching to see if they pull him back up because they just recalled him a couple days ago. Also, 2GG Prime Saga, the esports Super Smash Bros. Tournament. It's one of their next majors. It's going to be this weekend as well, so I'll be getting some of the highlights from that as well.
I just hope that no one ever makes fun of us for saying we're watching NASCAR again, because I will reference the fact that Andrew mentioned that he's watching. I don't judge.
I've never.
I
Made
know
fun
you
of guys
don't.
for watching
There's
NASCAR.
Since you corrected him on the Schwindel, whatever his name is, it's actually Pete Alonso, not Peter.
Most likely,
I got you back.
most likely, he was born Peter.
No, it's Pete. He's actually not American either.
Whatever.
So you just digging yourself in a hole.
I
But
don't
Jacob,
care. Jacob, what are you watching this weekend?
I think Trevor knows what I'm watching this weekend.
You're watching the Masters, right?
I'll keep apprised to what's going on, but there's a lot of racing going on
There
this weekend.
is.
The Xfinity Series running tonight at Richmond. That's probably
What's
going
is
to
it? 7 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock tonight, I
I'm
believe.
not gonna make it home in time.
But Trevor, I think you're going to be in luck because the forecast is not good right
So
now.
the race will get moved to tomorrow.
It's going to be probably moved to tomorrow. The Cup race Saturday night, the Grand Prix of Long Beach with IndyCar on Sunday as well, and then I'm also going to catch some USAC sprint car racing this weekend. They're running around the Indiana area.
That's pretty much the same thing I'm going to watch this weekend. I've got a lot of homework I need to catch up on, and
I recommend watching the NHL playoffs. I really do. The atmosphere, if you're not even a huge hockey fan, you'll enjoy this from the crowd's perspective. The game, these are the best teams there, and it's really good hockey.
I think this is going to be a lazy weekend for me. I'm going to be gone the next 2 weekends, so I've got other commitments. So I'm going to relax at home, maybe partake in a nice soda pop or two, and watch some NASCAR. So I think that'll do it for the weekend sports kickoff here on X106 and KNWT Channel 8. We'll be back here. Well, not all of us will be back here next week. I think you three clowns will be here, right?
Yeah, I
Right.
think so.
And who knows with Ryan Elliott whether or not he'll be here or not. I don't know that he knows whether or not he'll be here. But I won't be here for the next 2 weeks, so this is most likely my last show on the weekend sports kickoff. So maybe just a little bit sad, but
You'll probably be a guest next year. I don't know what's
Maybe.
going
I don't
through
know.
his mind.
Like
the
next
new sports
week
director
we'll
is
be
kind of a jerk. So
we'll be
Same with
doing
the
some
assistant.
senior send-offs next week because that'll be our last show on the television side.
I'll host that show too.
And most of this show is leaving. If you talk about Ryan Kramer, Trevor, Caleb, our producer, they're all graduating.
Wait,
I'll
what does
be-
Caleb do?
What?
What does Caleb do?
He's our producer. He does.
Oh, that's what he does.
he's
yeah.
that guy that comes
I-
in and drives me nuts.
I
that
just
guy.
thought he comes in and just checks the cameras. I didn't know he produced this show.
But as I was saying, Trevor is the only one that's leaving that's not graduating, except he just won't be back next year.
Yep, I'm just a handful of credits shy of graduating, so I've decided to shift my focus towards that, as well as some other commitments. As you guys know, this semester got really crazy for me with some of my other obligations and stuff I do for a living. So hate to see it, but it's been fun. I think I've done the show, 2.5 years or so. And really up until this semester, I hardly ever missed an episode, give or take a couple
I think you missed about 4 months.
And then I missed
Yeah.
and then I missed like 4 months.
Yeah, because initially
And-
I was supposed to be a sub.
Yeah,
and I ended up being it every
being
day.
like it every day. But so it's been fun. I might still be around. You can always make a call to the bullpen if you need to, or if you want to. You probably don't want to. But that'll do it for the weekend sports kickoff. Huge thanks to everyone for listening. We'll be back here next week on KNWT Channel 8, X106.